the combination that guarantees big results in the insurance business. I would say 10K a month is really where the big results category goes into. So I want to focus in on just 2 things that will pretty much guarantee you guys to get to that level. Now, it's not going to be easy, but this is the combination that will unlock, not just in the insurance business, but in any business, how to become successful as far as finances and other things too. So what do you guys think the first thing is? Skills, yeah, it does have to do with skills. What kind of skills? Sales skills. There you go, Diana. They did a research on the richest people in the whole world. All of them. I mean, there's a lot of different similarities, you know. Some people, but not everybody had the same traits, except for this one. Like, did they all go to college? No. Like, do they all wake up early? No. Like, do they all not drink Coke? No. Like, everybody's different, you know, but all successful people were very persuasive. They all had experience in sales too. One-on-one sales. Persuasion is a process in which one person or entity tries to influence another person or a group of people to change their beliefs or behaviors. Doesn't that sound like pretty powerful stuff there? Like, if you could influence somebody to change their belief or behaviors, that's the power of persuasion. So persuasion is something that is gonna be something that's been studied. And I'm reading a book called Influence. The most successful people have recommended this book, and I'm reading it, I'm really liking it, and I wanna share with you guys what I learned from it, but that's gonna be in a different meeting, okay? These are the 6 things that helps you become more persuasive. The next time Mo is here, the second half of the month, we're gonna have a meeting about this, because all these things is gonna help us become better at sales. And if you're better at sales, you just make more money, and that's really the key to getting big results. So more on this later. And also as a leader too, like, I have to admit, like, I'm trying to persuade you guys to believe in yourself and make more money, you know, and go through what we have to do to become successful together. So persuasion helps with leadership, sales, customer service, everything that has to do with business and relationship, and more on that a little bit later. So one of the things that's happening in this world right now is that we get instant gratification. Okay, everything is like instant, right? So what's the opposite of that? Delayed gratification. You delay your gratification, and this is what all successful people did. Okay, and that's really the biggest difference between someone who's successful and not, is the person that understands this concept. Because this concept could be applicable to so many things. When it comes to income, what's the opposite of thinking long-term or delaying your gratification is when you look at the very, very short term. So I think it's really interesting when people look for jobs and stuff like that, they literally think about how much per hour do I make. That's as short term as you can think. Now, someone who understands the delayed gratification piece will think like, okay, how much total will I make in the next 5 years? Patience. Okay, paying your dues, you know, putting in the deposits to get the withdrawals later. What about for finance? Saving money. Okay, not spending on stuff that doesn't help you later. Okay, and the key word here that I want to use is the successful people, what they do with money and time is they invest it. Okay, they don't spend it. Okay, they'll buy a house, right? They'll put money on stuff that grows. Like, I'm constantly putting my money back into the business so it could grow later. And what do poor people do? They spend it on things that doesn't give anything back in return. Shoes is not a good investment, okay, but we kind of need to spend money on something. I cut it down a lot. Jesus Christ. If I was selling 700K, then now with diet also, that's a major one where literally when you eat something that's not good for you, the pleasure is so short term. It's just the shortest form of pleasure there is. Like, you just eat it at the very moment, it's good, but does that help you long term when you're eating something bad? Right, so these are also investments too, because there are some foods out there that maybe not taste as good, but in the long term, it's investing into your body. You're like helping yourself have more energy later. And I don't really want you guys to look at these things as like sacrifice, because some people think like, oh, if I eat something good, or if I don't party, if I get good sleep, these are like sacrifices. No, these are investments, because sacrifice means that you're not getting anything back in return. But as an investment means that you are getting something in return. investing your effort in something is gonna pay off in the games. You know, and that's something that really some people just never get to the point where they really understand, like, what I'm doing right now is gonna help me in the future. So that's great lessons you're teaching her there too. And energy, okay? So some of the trade-offs could be what? Maybe you get invited to a party. Or maybe the Netflix show is like, dang, I just wanna see the next show. When you get better sleep, you're just gonna perform better next day. So it just explains why some people at 40 or 50 just have so much more energy than someone that's 25. It's because the investment they're making into the energy. And what about relationships? I do feel successful people here that I've seen have great supportive partners. Okay, and I have seen people that had great career opportunities here, but not that I know for sure, but I feel like there were some bad influences within the relationship that didn't help them become successful here. So there's relationships that are negative and the relationships that are positive, and those are investments that we get to choose. Like, hey, does this person drain my energy? Does this person always telling me that I shouldn't work as hard? Is this person telling me that money isn't important? Is this person demotivating me? Or is this person, every time I see this person, I get energized, or do I feel more positive, or I feel more good about myself? So there's some toxic relationships out there, so investing your time and energy in these 6 things will really determine what type of return you'll get later on. Especially for spouses, when you have the same goal, then couples stay together. You know, but when you have a spouse that kind of like, oh, don't go to work because I feel insecure and I feel like you're gonna, spending less time with me, so I want you to work as little as possible. There's different relationships, there's a lot of different types out there, but we just want to make sure friends, even family, what type of messages, and you can't ever, cut out family, but you can kind of audit what they're telling you. And a lot of times parents want to protect you, so they don't want you to take risks or take anything that could expose you to like being hurt or trying too hard. But sometimes you just have to understand, hey, like what makes me happy is different from what somebody else makes them happy. So we're all different there. So that's really good that you understand yourself and you know that you're ambitious and you're not letting other people influence those decisions is very important too. So great, so I want to get into, so why is it so hard if we went through all that to delay our gratification? When you do something bad, like if you miss work or if you eat donuts 2 days in a row or something like that, it doesn't really affect you right away. And when you do it, the next day you don't see the consequences. Like you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't bad. Like I could get away with this. Or if you miss work and it's like you see your next check, oh, it wasn't that bad. And you kind of start forgetting that, hey, the consequences aren't that bad. But one of the things as you get older is that the consequences always come. And that's the one thing that if you remember, the consequences always come. It's usually 60 days, 90 days later, but they always come. Okay, if you don't, a lot of times when I'm not feeling really well or if I'm not doing really well financially or relationship wise, it's like, oh man, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing 60 days ago. Now I'm paying the price now. So that's one thing for us to remember, that whatever our actions is 60 days ago, that's what you're paying the price for now. That's why you want to do the right things. And what makes it even more trickier is the positive things, they take even longer than the negative consequences. They take more than 90 days. They take 6 months. They take a year. Sometimes it takes 5 years. So that's why people don't even see the results that it comes from having positive reinforcements, because I've seen people that pay their dues, worked really hard, got their license, okay, now it's time for them to reap the rewards, and they give up because they didn't see it coming. They give up because it's too much of a weight. They can't go through that uncertainty period. Is this gonna pay off? Is this gonna pay off? Is this gonna pay off? And they give up. But one of the things that I just want to share with you guys is that the consequences are always coming. Okay, so that's why I'd rather pay the dues now so I could pay any price later. All right, so let's make the deposits now, and I want you guys to make the bigger withdrawals later. And another concept that might help you guys kind of keep making these deposits is that these actions that you take, they're gonna echo. So echo is like when you say something and it bounces back and forth, right? It keeps going back and forth. So these echoes, they're gonna go on forever. These actions you take, it's like a butterfly effect. I'm not sure if you guys understand that concept, but whatever you guys do, it just keeps making differences in your world, and especially in your family's world. So whatever you guys do, it's gonna affect your family and people around you for eternity. So the only question is, how loud would yours be? Okay, because there's some people, unfortunately, that their echo is a whisper. Like, they go away from their life. Unfortunately, maybe they pass away, but literally everybody forgets about them in 2 weeks. And they made no positive change in anybody's lives. And some people, they took so much action and their family history just changed forever. Now that person's echo is super loud. When I think about that, then I'm like, okay, I want to make a lot of effort here and invest in our future, plant the seeds and pay my dues, because I want to have, and hopefully you guys have a big impact on your future generations too. And then back to persuasion. Okay, who's the most important person to persuade?
Yourself.
That's right. Okay, let's persuade to make investments. So this is where the combination comes into play. You have to persuade others, but most importantly, you have to persuade yourself into making this investment and believing in delayed gratification. So income. Okay, real quick. Income, persuade yourself that extra work is worth the money. Okay, you're worth extra money. Like, you have self-worth, like, hey, I deserve more money, so I should work more. Finance. I deserve to save my money so I can spend money on something I really want later. Okay, diet. Okay, I'm worth the better food so I can make the investment so I have more energy later, or I'm healthier later. I don't want to have pain later on in my life. I'm worth it. Fitness. Okay, if you don't work out, then later on you're gonna pay the price with pain. Okay, I mean, a shorter life. There's so many things that you have to pay the price. So fitness is something that really comes from self-love, and you want to persuade yourself that you're worth it. Energy, getting the sleep, and relationship. Okay, putting your relationship and time and investing into people that really matter to you, and cutting out the people that don't really bring you any value. So let's keep making these investments, okay? Because I just want to let you guys know that you guys are worth it. Your net worth is how much you're worth, okay? Your value, okay? But literally what you believe you're worth determines that. So our job is to persuade ourselves that we are worth it. We are worth the extra money. We are worth the extra work. So I just want to let you guys know that I believe in you guys. That's the reason you guys are here. And I just want you guys to show me that you guys believe in yourself too. All right, so let's go ahead and make those deposits so we can make those big withdrawals later. Thank you guys.